At the race here today is coming from Sebring International Raceway. This is the club layout, 1.75 miles, 11 turns. I skipped qualifying to start near the back for extra fun. And here we go. So that's us, the number 3 car, second one from the rear. The number 1 car, I think it is right in front of us, the pink and white one. So this is the highest rated driver in the race. He also started from the back, got into it there with a 12 car. So we're able to get around all that. That was kind of interesting from the in car. You could kind of see that starting to play out there. Um, let's forget to fix my field of view here. Um, so you can see the 1 car touched the back of the 12 car exiting the turn, which turned him sideways. Tires are cold, kind of locked up a little bit. This section where you get on the throttle is super important because you carry that speed all down this long section here, the bend in it, but your full throttle, all the way down to this hairpin, which is turn 10, I think. And then you want to brake between the 3 and 4 cone. I went to the inside a little bit just to make the guy in front of me a little nervous. Maybe he would leave the door wide open if he thought I was going to dive for it, but didn't work that time. Stay with this view for a second. You got a lot of wheel spin coming out of there if you get on the throttle a little too hard, and if you braked a little too much before coming in there. Um, Dove it to the outside around that 9 car. He had kind of got to the brakes a little too early, I felt. So I felt I was faster than all these guys, but I didn't want to take myself out. So just trying to wait for the right time. Uh, I felt like I could definitely get him. It was just a matter of time. So I was trying not to have a incident, not to have contact, and just get by cleanly. But at this point, I'm starting to think it might be a bit of a challenge with the 9 car, as I feel like I'm faster than him, but I feel like he's moved over a little bit a couple of times when, uh, like here, there's a car to his inside, but came all the way down to the apex. So he's slamming that door. So that tells me the move I got to pull off. I really got to have the position. So that time I'm up next to him and he still turned in. I wasn't completely next to him. We weren't completely side by side. He still had a nose on me. But look at it from a different view, maybe rear chase view. So another view that'll be interesting is if we look at it from this car's chase view, it sometimes gives you interesting perspective here. So this one last time from TV2. So I don't know. That was some percentage my fault, some percentage his fault. I could have waited for an even better opportunity, but at that time I felt like it was kind of the third time getting my nose chopped, and I was uh, the farthest alongside I had been. So he's taking all the risk there. Is the way I looked at it. And you gotta remember this all happens in fractions of a second. So that was a 12 car who I think was a lap down from earlier incidents. I think he might have gone to the pit to repair his car or something. I think on that. So at this point, we're running sixth. So heavy braking zone. Get on the throttle smoothly here. You can't just mash it. You're pretty close, but not completely mash it. And then here's kind of the front sort of straight-ish section. This is turn 11 right here, this bend. And then now the line is right about here. And then you're heading into turn one right here, right-hander, 90 degrees. So carrying enough speed through here, downshift is second on exit, and then you're flat out through this section. I feel like I make up ground heading into this section right here. Get the car turned a little bit, kind of late apex that turn. I feel like I'm a little bit faster here than this guy, but I got to be careful because I don't want to run into the back of him. It's tough when you're behind somebody. You don't know exactly where they're going to brake. You also can't see your braking markers as good as you could when you had a little more space in front of you. And you got the draft sometimes uh, where it's giving you extra speed. So I'm kind of happy with my spot here. Started 10th, running sixth. I feel like I'm faster than the sixth car. Um, again, just looking for the right spot to make the move. Back to the throttle early. I'm trying not to get super close on entry. I'm trying to time my exits a little better to be able to get back to the throttle sooner and maybe get them on exit because you kind of can't pass on entry to the turn as you saw with that contact before. Like it's dangerous trying to beat him into the turn. Much better if you can do like this, where he made a little bit of a mistake on exit, and then we were able to get right by. Because we got on the power right when we needed to, he got on a little bit too early. That made him push wide, and so then he had to do some corrective action uh, at the exit. So we're coming through here. Look where his left side tires are. So here's the inside of the turn. He's like almost a car width off of that. And so if we go now, we're at the spot where he was. Now our tires are almost to that curb. So you can see the difference there. So he got on the throttle. He missed the apex and then got on the throttle hard or was just carrying too much speed through the whole part of it. So he still has to get more turning done on the exit. This guy's tires are straight. His tires are still turned a little bit. He's still trying to get that turning done. and he can't get turning done, can't get turning done, can't get turning done, and we're on the throttle hard already. We've been on the throttle for, uh, we're on the throttle 100%. Let's see, we're on the throttle 100% from here. We're already on the throttle 100%. He's still turning. So I had to take some pretty evasive action here because we're closing in really quickly at that point. We're doing 77 right here, and he's doing 70. So we got 7 miles an hour of speed, and we're behind him, so probably more when we actually catch up to the spot on the track he is. Uh, so just the kind of breakdown of how that pass happened. Trying not to outbrake myself going into this turn 10. It's a real tempting spot to try to um, overdrive the car on entry there. Uh, it's actually faster if you make sure you hit the apex on the first part of that turn. Try to find a better camera view here. So right here, I brake about a little after the two cones. So we closed up quite a bit under braking there. And then this left-hander right here, I usually gain a little bit on people in here. And so definitely gained a bunch there, gained like a car length. But I got too close, had to back out of it. Sort of gave the spot, it gave that distance on the track sort of right back. But in the draft, we kind of gained some of that position right back. Again, peeking up the inside. I'm not going to do it. I'm too far back, but sometimes you can get the other guy looking and look at he made a mistake. He ran wide. So you can sometimes do that fake out where you act like you're going to go for it, and then you got to make them think about it. And what this does is where they should be focusing on their braking and nailing this turn because it's a challenging turn. Now they're thinking about, uh-oh, can I turn in or is this car going to be there? What do I do? And so if we flip this around and look at it from far chase view, do this in slow-mo real quick. So we peeked out, peeked to the inside, and now look how far off the apex he is. He's way off the apex, like 3 car lengths, 3 car widths, 4 car widths, and we're able to get back on the throttle, hit the apex and get back on the throttle. Uh, so that move works usually on less experienced drivers or people who are just trying to be real careful. They might fall for that. And then here I'm just taking a defensive line just to not let him be able to throw it up the inside on me coming into this turn. I just need to get a great exit out of here, and then we're safe. Now we can drive our racing line. Oh, uh, number 2 ranked car, number 2 there. Um, it's like had a moment, lost it. So now they're battling 3 wide behind us. It's all great. Slows all of them down. We're just keeping it clean, using all the track, trying to run down that car in front of us. And we got a bit of a gap to make up there. So now we're running in 4th position. So the car in front of us, I think is, I want to say Paul. Yeah. Um, we gained like a tenth through here. We gained 2/10 through the chicane that led onto that straight before that hairpin. And we're kind of even the rest of the track. So we're gaining like generally about 3/10 of a second a lap, but sometimes make a little bit of a mistake and give some time back. Brake hard right after the two cone, and then kind of turn in sort of late to that turn there. Finding a braking spot for this turn is tough. And then here, most cars go way right. We go a little bit left here, and then get on the throttle, the right spot right here, to carry all the speed on exit, because then you get to carry that additional uh, mile an hour or two or more all the way through here for like 15 seconds or so. That sort of squealing you hear, scuffing you hear is just um, the different tires kind of at the limit of traction, kind of sliding a little bit. They're not locking up, but they're on the verge of locking up. This is Sebring. So it's an airport. It's a municipal airport, I think. Um, and so I believe the that's why you see so many cement sections through the turns, I think. Um, Also, the cement in the turns, because they do a lot of endurance racing here, they beat up the track quite a bit, so the cement lasts a lot longer. Uh, but the thing with the cement is um, it has seams in it, and it's usually kind of bumpier. So I'm trying to break at about the 3.5, like between the 4 and the 3 cone. And then this next turn here, I break just before the 3 cone on this turn coming up. And the trick with a lot of these turns is when you get off the brake. Get off here, off, and roll back on the throttle smoothly. Braking at the right spot is not too hard. Getting off the throttle at the right time is pretty tricky. So you can tell we're pretty evenly matched with the car in front of us here. It's a 21 lap race. We're on lap 12. So we just crossed the halfway mark. So I feel like we got time to catch the car in front of us and pass him. I'm not sure if we got time to catch the car in front of him. Doesn't look like it. He's about 6.5 seconds up the road. You can kind of see him every once in a while. That was a lot better through this turn. One of the tricky things about that turn was where you downshift into second. You can't do it too soon. You got to kind of do it in the middle of turning, which is dangerous because if you don't have the RPMs right, you can lock the rear wheels for a split second, and that'll send you around. We got a pretty good exit there. Got on the throttle pretty good. Now we're a little closer. So now we're in a really good spot because now we're close enough to get a draft on these faster sections, and we can just wait for our moment. We got plenty of laps. So I'm happy with this spot right here, this distance. I can kind of pressure him to make a mistake, try to get him to make a mistake, and so let's look at that a little bit. He made a little bit of a mistake there. So you can see he gets the tires up on the grass on this left side here, and this costs him some time. So then I go look to go left, and he can go right. He's been going right. Oh, this time he decides to pull left. How convenient. So um, look at this from his perspective here. So he's got a smooth right-hander coming up, but he goes left this time instead of going right like he had been. And see, he missed his apex on the right side because he's going left. So uh, I noticed that. I had a run. I had a run coming. He had made a mistake. He knew I had a run coming because he made a mistake. So he was covering it. But again, we still got the draft. We're still close enough. And we're well matched on speed. So I was trying to use some discretion there, not not force the issue, not dive it up the inside through the chicane. He missed the apex a bit there. Just trying to get back to the throttle sooner, trying to get our braking done a little sooner, turning done a little sooner, and then get back to the throttle sooner. Because basically what I'm hoping for is a mistake somewhere in the middle or an exit of the turn, and then we're ready to pounce. Great draft. He goes right. He goes to block. He goes defensive line. And yeah, yeah. All right. So we're coming through here. It's all good. See if this camera clears up in a second. Okay. Coming through here, and normally he would go to his left, but he doesn't. He stays right to um, take a defensive line in the next turn. All right. So let's look at this from our chase view. So got the draft. Don't know which way he's going to go, and then we say, okay, he's going right. Okay, let's move left quickly and then try to straighten the car out. And I didn't. I went a little bit back to the right. You can see why this seam that's here. I started drifting a little bit to the right. At the same time, he goes right. He's going right, and then he starts to move back left to prepare for this turn. So uh, he, you know, he's going left. I'm going right. Ain't gonna work out. So it's definitely partially my fault and partially his fault. I think um, we both could have done better there. Uh, but I also think he made his move. He was going for defensive line. I can do whatever I want to do. Like he's kind of stuck. He's got to choose a line, and he chose a defensive line and then moved. I can move wherever I want. I feel like because I'm the trailing car. But oh well, this happens. And this was for third position. So now that other car gets by us, that six car, and we're getting back up to speed again. I did say something. All I said was thanks. Like I was just not real happy with that. But in retrospect, looking at it, it was definitely partially my fault too. It wasn't all on him. Okay, so then he throws it in here and loses it. Um, so let's see. When we get to right here, kind of mid turn, we're doing 51 miles an hour, and he is doing 57, which is apparently too much because it ain't gonna stick. Um, so I think he might have been aiming for us, or maybe just seeing red at that point, and well, didn't work out for him. All right, so now we are still third. We just have a different car in front of us that we've already gotten by once, and we are on lap 16 of 21. We got a little bit of damage. Um, it was definitely messing with the steering a little bit and the turning to the right a little bit, but it didn't really seem to be slowing us down. I didn't I didn't really notice it in the lap time, but could definitely feel it was a little bit different. Let's go ahead and go on board for this. So again, we got like 5 laps to go, but I feel like it's just a matter of time. We got this guy. It's just a matter of when and where, and uh, try to do it cleanly. Got a bit of a draft here for sure, and we just send it up the inside, and that was all she wrote. So look at this from a different angle. So he definitely saw it coming and was like, okay, let me just get a little more braking done and tuck in behind. I'm running slightly defensive line here, um, just to not give him any ideas. And at this point, I think I got him covered. I can go back to the racing line. All right, so that's lap 18. Um, Nothing really changes from that point. We're in second now. Let's look at our lap times real quick. Fastest lap was lap 13. It was a 111.242. Lots of laps in the 111s, except for the one where we spun there. We got into it with Paul. Uh, so 114s at the beginning and then quickly into the 111s, and we kept it in the 111s pretty much the whole race. So that was fun. It was eventful. Um, There's a little bit of craziness to work through, but it was all good. I enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching.